Well, what's going on, Knife Tube? Today we're going to be looking at the QSP Swordfish with the G10 handles. Um, I've been really getting into the style of these Wharncliffe blades. So I was looking around on Blades Canada. I found this for 65 on sale, so 35 off the original price. So here we are. I'm pretty excited to talk about this because I don't see, for what it is, I don't see many people talking about it. So let's take a look at the stat sheet here. 14C28M blade, 3.625 inches, and 4.5 in the handle. It is a button plunge lock. As far as I can tell, no issues with it. I'll be quite honest, I haven't done any spine testing with it just due to the fact I know that QSP has quality. They build their stuff with quality, and me personally, I'm not really ever going to be banging the back of this. So it's it's just kind of counterproductive for me. If you want to check your knives stability, go right ahead. But I would tell you right now that this knife, if used properly, this lock should be fine. So, but yes, other than that, you might have realized that if you've looked at this knife before, that it looks a little different. And that's because I ground off the finger flipper because I don't like. Well, first of all, actually, it's not because I don't like anything. The reason is because with a button lock, having a flipper just doesn't make much sense because when you flip, say, even if I'm going to use the thumb stud, it's going to be in the way. But then to have a comfortable grip on the knife and to recess it, it's going to be in the way as well. So ever since I've taken it off, I've enjoyed this much more. I think it looks way better too. I don't know what it was before. It kind of had this like childish look to me. I feel like it was too much white coming out with the red, and now I feel like it looks on par with the Ripley. It looks great. So really excited about that. If you guys get one, I just use my Dremel to do this, but I would suggest it. I don't know if you. It's obviously a personal preference, but I would highly suggest it because, and some people might think it's stupid to push the button, but I mean, once this flipper is out of the way, it's very comfortable. So, um, to each their own, but that's my 2 cents on the subject. Um, there's two versions of this. They have the Micarta and the G10. So I think the Micarta comes in green and there's the Stonewash, and I think there might be a different blade style. And black, I think, yeah, I think you can get black. You can also get this one with the black blade as well. Me personally, I really like the Stonewash that QSP does, so I'll probably just always go with that option. But yeah, so the original price on this is $100, and I've worked with this, like you can see here. I've beat the Ripley up a little bit. I've sharpened it a couple times, so I kind of know what to expect from it a little bit, and I was impressed with this knife, and as I said, I'm interested in this blade geometry now. Saw it at a great discount, so I figured why not. And this is let's talk about how the main topic of conversation with this geometry is that it's super EDCable, and that is definitely correct. I've had a really good time using this due to this point. The only thing I will say is that obviously, clearly, you don't get a belly, right? So straight and reasonably straight here too, but we have this belly here, where we can make contact with a surface. Here, we don't have that. You can only get contact here. And when the closer you come down, you'll still have some material you haven't hit. So that would be the downfall to this Wharncliffe style blade. But if you're cutting in the air, if you're, you just need to open something and the tip is mainly what you need in your knife, this is going to make your day go by, because it's just so easy to use. And, it's just put a smile on my face personally. These QSP knives, same as the Ripley did. I really enjoyed these, and for the value, I just, even here in Canada, things are more expensive. That's kind of an issue when it comes to these knives. Is that the pricing, and this is with anything really, but a little more with these knives too, because the prices get jacked up. But I'm pretty sure that this is sold in the States at 65. So I was like, yeah, why not grab this? And then the next week, they had the Micarta version on sale too. So if you're looking, you can always find some good deals there on Blades Canada, besides the point. But even at 95 with tax and shipping, I would have been super happy with this. Like I said, much happier now that I modified it, because I don't know. Like I said, that doesn't make much sense to me, having a flipper when you have a button. I want to have a close purchase on the knife, and that just gets in the way. So, or on the handle, I should say. And yeah, that was just getting in my way. So I took that out. But then there's another thing I noticed that's kind of cool about this knife as well. And the liners have been cut out for each of the circles here. So, maybe later I'll make a short to show how I um, modify it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it though, because what I want to do is drill out the black and leave that little bit of red that's there. And, anybody who's worked with stuff like this, you'll know that this isn't, it's not just plug and play. You got to do this 8 separate times. And if you mess up once, it's not going to look that great. So I'm still debating it, but we'll see. But other than that, with these cutout inlays, where's the balance point? Yeah, I'll do it on this end. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I didn't want to drop that and cut this mat here, but it's very well balanced in the hand. I feel it's a little bit like heavy in the handle. That's why I was thinking maybe even drilling that out would be a good idea. But even if you don't, this thing feels great. Very solid. Like most QSP knives I've ever used, like any of them. This is no exception. Very different though with this blade, and I'm thinking like I just ordered the Main Street by Concept or Concept. I don't really know how to pronounce that one. I ordered that, and I also ordered the Cold Steel Frenzy too, the big blue one, just because it's cool and why not, right? But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just, and I kind of do that once I get into something new. I'll just dive into it. But like I said in the beginning, this has been a joy to use for EDC. It really has been. Like it's basically having a razor in your pocket. Like straight edge, you might have, say you're cutting plastics or something, you'll have more chance to slip because there's no belly, like we were just talking about the geometry before. You might have more chance to slip and not get a cut, so you'd have to apply more pressure. As we're here, you're gradually, that's just how knife geometry works, like the belly will help you cut into things. But you don't get that super pointy tip with the drop point. So, you could have both at the same time. But yeah, this has just been really interesting to use. And I keep saying that because just like with the Spydercos, I feel like knives are something you get used to and then you stick to it. And I've had a really good time recently just trying a bunch of new things. And if you're like me and you've been stuck on the same style blades and this and that, then take a look at these Wharncliffes because, and I mean Wharncliffe. There's the difference. Like the sheepfoot, you can blend a bunch of blades and they can be a mixture of anything, but this would definitely be a Wharncliffe. It's straight and it's got a serious point on it. A sheep's foot would be more rounded off here to remove that point. The point of a sheep's foot mainly is to reduce the stress the point of the knife puts on whatever you're using it on. So if you can understand what I just meant, but yeah. So this is a Wharncliffe, and if you're interested in trying, or you haven't been, and you're like on the fence, the Wharncliffe is definitely an interesting knife, man. Because yeah, the people aren't lying. It's definitely very good for EDC tasks, and I'll attest to that. So if you are, and this is a good one to go with. There's a few. I got the Main Street. It's a little bit smaller in the blade, same uh, total length. I guess you just get a little more handle. And we'll look at that one, I think, after this, just to make a comparison in case anyone is going to want to go hop in and buy their own. So um yeah, we'll look at that one too, but for the value, I'll never say, I'll never put QSP down. They're great. I really like QSP knives. This is no exception. It's built just like the Ripley. It does have full liners though, so it is, like I was saying earlier, it's a little heavier. Feels heavier in the handle, but personally, like I was saying, like when it's FRN and stuff like that with no liners, then your knife is very light, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I like to feel something, in my hand when I'm working. Like I don't want to feel like it's gonna bend or something like that. So if you don't care about a little more weight in the handle, you're not gonna be worried about this knife, man. This thing's great. We measured it up. It was 4.3, so a little over quarter pound. But you know what? Like it feels great. So I would suggest, if you got an itchy finger and you just want a Wharncliffe now, you don't want to wait for me to talk about the other one. This is a good buy. So is the other one though, because it has better steel. You got 154 cm on that one. I know we're talking about this here, but I just want to let the people know that there's other things available, and I think that one is actually the same price as this originally. So take a look at that too if Wharncliffes interest you. But yeah, other than that, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.